Mr. Blaikie, 7 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thanks to my colleague Aaron Weir for giving me some time to ask questions regarding the supplementary estimates C that I know are on the minds of RCMP members across the country. As the Minister may and should know, in January 2015, the RCMP Pay Council recommended a raise for RCMP members, and later that year, the RCMP Commissioner recommended a raise for RCMP members to the President of the Treasury Board. Initially, when I saw the sub-C estimates just at a glance before we had kind of looked into them any further, there were some promising lines. There was a line under Treasury Board for compensation adjustments. There was a line that talked about pay list requirements. We see that the RCMP itself is requesting $70 million in the supplementary estimate C, and we thought maybe this was finally the raise that RCMP members thought was coming. When we looked into it a little more, we saw that it appears anyway that certainly those items under Treasury Board are not pay raise items for the RCMP. It looks like it may not be the case that the money requested by the RCMP under its own departmental plan is for the pay raise for RCMP members. I congratulate the government on the increase in platitudes when it comes to speaking about RCMP members, but as the Minister knows, banks don't let RCMP members pay their mortgage in platitudes, so it's important not to substitute increases in platitudes for increases in pay. I'm wondering, is there a line in the supplementary estimate C that we've missed wherein there's a raise for RCMP members? And if not, when is that raise coming?
Thank you very much, Mr. Blaikie. And first of all, we have tremendous respect for the work of the RCMP and the safety and security that they bring to us. And as we've seen in this week, the sacrifices and their risk in their work and on an ongoing basis. So, in fact, one of the you're aware of legislation C7, which for the first time will provide RCMP with collective bargaining rights and representation opportunities, which continues to be subject to the legislative process, but we believe will move forward. The request you refer to is under consideration, and that's something that.
How long is it going to be under consideration?
Again,
because it's been well over a year now that it's been under consideration.
I mean, it's under consideration, but when you speak to the pay adjustments that are in the sub-C now, those reflect when we were first elected in terms of the public service. There were 27.
Now, are any of those for RCMP members? Because that's really the substance of my question: is what is in these increases for RCMP members?
No, the request, the recent
so
request,
is the government waiting on C7 to pass in order to pass judgment on the recommendation?
The request that was made recently is under consideration.
And for how long normally do you consider?
That is independent of C7, but
Okay.
C7 is an important step forward in terms of RCMP collective bargaining.
So when you're considering a raise, typically there's criteria of assessment in terms of whether you make a decision to go forward with a raise or not. If it's under consideration, what criteria are you using to evaluate the recommendation for a raise? Under what conditions would you approve that raise?
Again, those are under consideration currently.
So the raise isn't under consideration. Yes. The criteria for evaluating the raise is still under consideration. Well, is that correct?
First of all, when the request when it was made, it is under consideration now by Treasury Board in consultation with Minister of Public Safety, Minister Goodale. But this is something that.
How many conversations have you had with Minister Goodale about the raise?
We speak regularly about public safety and RCMP issues.
Are you speaking regularly about whether or not to grant a raise to RCMP members?
In terms of specifics around the RCMP, I'm going to ask YAPRAC because of some of the discussions that are ongoing on this. But I do want to say, though, we've gone from no public servants with collective bargaining agreements to over 80% in about a year. And we have I think,
Well,
restored.
and RCMP members have
very,
yet to get a collective
but
agreement,
again,
even though the Supreme Court said they have a right to a collective agreement if they want one.
Mr. Blaikie, we're moving forward with C7 in terms of...
When are you moving forward with C7?
Well,
Have you got a date when that's coming back to the House?
There's a legislative process underway now.
There's multiple bargaining agents trying to certify right now in a context of pretty serious legislative uncertainty.
Regardless of your opinion of the Senate, it's a body that is
I haven't mentioned the other place.
I know, but the point is,
and
this is certainly
to their
before the
credit, in
Senate.
this case, they did their work. They did it in June.
Yes.
And one of the reasons we were told that we couldn't consider important amendments to C7 at the House level was because the sky was going to fall if we didn't get C7 passed. We got it passed last spring in the House. It went to the Senate.
Yes.
The Senate completed its work before last summer, and then the bill disappeared.
And we're looking forward to their
Well, RCMP members have been
ongoing
looking forward
discussions with them,
to some time.
and we take it very seriously. Now, Yaprak may want to add in terms
Can
of
you,
specific grant.
well, I'm wondering first if you could illuminate us as to the delay on C7, why it's taken so long for it to come back to the House.
There's discussions with the other place now and legislators in the other place, and we're moving forward with.
And do you anticipate
C7.
that when it comes back to the House, it'll come back in what form? Is the government considering
of course,
adopting the amendments of the Senate?
Of course, that's a discussion with legislators in the other place, and when those deliberations are concluded, we will be bringing this back to the House, and we look forward to moving forward with members of Parliament in good faith.
All right. Well,
Thanks very much. Yaprak, would you like to add just in terms of the discussions around?
I think actually I'll.
In about 30 seconds.
Thanks.
Okay. The basic comparators, we look at comparators with other police forces, basically. It's just that which police forces do you take and what averages do you look at? That's what's considered.
Council, and I think it's pretty clear, like the RCMP's
appreciate
fallen. I think they're ranked 70-something out of 80-something now. Pay Council said they should be in the kind of top three, or the average of the top three comparator police forces. So I mean, we're a very long way away. So this is hardly quibbling about details. This is about really an issue of principle at this point.
And we'll have to curtail the discussion until the next round.